because you novices, the person you are today is not the same person you're going to be on June the 9th. On June the 9th, you will understand that if the cause is worthy enough, if the reason is serious enough or noble enough, there is nothing that will stop you from doing what you want to do. Do you want to find out if you're ready to run a Great Comrades? You put your hand in the flame. And you go to a club time trial and run your club time trial as hard as you can, a 5K as hard as you can, or maybe a 10K run. When you get a PB there, or you have a good time there, that tells you that you're ready to run Comrades. Not the long run. Not the long run. It's how fast you run a short distance. You spend time on your legs. That's what the long run is about. Time in this position. Because just think about this. If you are an 11 to 12 hour Comrades runner, you are going to be standing for 12 to 13 hours. So the most important month in Comrades marathon training is April. April is the epicenter of a great Comrades. Sorry, I don't want to be negative, but between now and Comrades, every single one of you who is running Comrades will get an injury or get sick. You just will. It's unavoidable. So between now and then, face up to it, you are going to get injured or sick or both. You could get both. That's a lucky double, okay? It's just going to happen. And then you have, it's how mature you are when it happens. Not on the down run, it's 4. Okay, but you get to the first of the register hills called Inchanga. And because it's a down run, you go up, 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 up like this. You go through Botha's hill, okay, and then the down run starts. So your legs that are nicely tenderized steak. And in Pinetown, okay, novices, it's about 18, 17, 16 to go. And there, you're going to, and there could be young people here and sensitive religious people, so I'm not going to swear, but you will say to yourself, I will never, ever, ever do this beep, stupid beep race ever again. You're going to meet a stranger, somebody you deeply admire and greatly respect, who's going to help you get through. And that person is yourself. Yeah, so if you win, there's no prize money, okay? But if you win, you get this. And that is the thing of beauty.
I'm not going to waste much time trying to introduce Bruce because Bruce normally introduces himself. But he's a legend. He's a fantastic human being. Are you?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. I mean, most of the time.
Most of the time. But this is Bruce Fordyce. Big round of applause for Bruce.
Do I need this?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Please use it.
I have to, I hate being Elvis. It is such a pain holding this thing. Okay. Right. Comrades Marathon 2025. So I'm going to talk about 2 themes here, okay? The first one I will deal with first, which is that it's time. And I'll explain what I mean by it's time, okay? The second one is because it's the down run, we go up. And I'll explain that when I get there as well. And I'm going to direct my talk to everyone, of course, but can I specifically direct it towards novices? So can I ask how many first-timers are here? Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, first-time down run? Yeah, okay, because you're sort of novices as well, because the up run and the down run. That's fantastic. Secondly, what I want to emphasize is when I'm finished, or even in the middle, I mean, it's very informal. If you want to ask me a question suddenly that jumps into your mind, please do, but otherwise ask me questions afterwards. I've got no time limit, I can leave. And then the only thing is, I haven't been able to feed my dog tonight, or my budgie, because I've run out of money. And so what I'm doing is I'm selling this book, okay? I need to buy budgie seed for my budgie. So this book, I'm selling a book, and this is for novices. and I will sign it for you. It's 200 Rand. That's I've got a machine if you can pay with the card. But I promise you why this is so good. And this is the last time I will punt my book in this talk, except for about 5 times. Why it's so good is that what it's about a young guy who ran his first Comrades Marathon, and that's me. And it's actually brilliant because what I did was I started from scratch, and in the course of from nothing, I went in the course of a year to running my first Comrades Marathon. And I did a couple of things correctly. And this, by the way, some of you were not born, was June 1976. And I did a couple of things correctly. First of all, my very first training run was 10 minutes around the Wits rugby fields. And I did it at night, because I didn't want anyone to see me, because I knew I would have to walk. And I did walk. The second thing that I did correctly was that I kept a training logbook. And I wrote down every run that I did. And I have never stopped keeping a training logbook. I don't use social media and funny apps and things like that. I write it down in pen, in a book. So I have a pile of books like this going back to June 1976. And so what happened was I kept a record. And so what I did with this book is that I have transcribed everything I did for a year with notes next to it to say, this is a bad idea, this is a good idea, this is a great idea. You can see I'm getting fitter, I'm able to go further, I'm able to not be tired anymore. My grape juice has arrived, I'm going to start being interesting. And so I kept this logbook with notes and things all the way through it, so you can see. And the beautiful thing about this book, it's not about it. No, don't worry. No, it's not about winning comrades. I didn't win my first comrade. It took me 5 years before I realized I had a chance of winning comrades. So this is an ordinary guy running. Well, you know, I was talented. Okay, so I ran quite a fast time, but this is an ordinary guy, and it has a very pretentious title called Winged Messenger. Why would it be called Winged Messenger? What a pretentious title. Well, comrades novices, the logo, the emblem on your medal is Hermes. His Latin name is Mercury, the winged messenger of the Greek gods. And he was the god of the roads, so that's what makes him so appropriate. But most importantly, he was one of the lesser gods. So the great gods in Greek mythology are, you know, Zeus and Hera, his wife, and Aphrodite, stroke Venus, and all those are the great gods. But below them, the Greeks had gods for everything. They had a god for the stream outside their cottage. They had a god for their cow. They had a god for everything. My particular favorite god is Bacchus. Other name Dionysius. And so Hermes is the emblem of comrades, and he's so appropriate because he was the only god who had the power to travel from the past to the present and back. And he could cross the holy river Styx and take messages from you to your ancestors and bring messages back from them, from Hades, which is their version of the afterlife, from Hades back to you, and travel from the past to the present. And the reason I'm saying that is because you novices, the person you are today is not the same person you're going to be on June the 9th. On June the 9th, you will understand that if the cause is worthy enough, if the reason is serious enough or noble enough, there is nothing that will stop you from doing what you want to do. And so that's why it's Winged Messenger, because he flew on wings to bring you messages and to change your life forever. So that's why it's called Winged Messenger. If there's anyone who's still not sure whether they should buy it, I am naked on page 31. Okay, that's it. One of the most disappointing photographs.
When you were young or now?
No, young, long. It's a very disappointing photograph. Okay, so there's my book. So I've said questions, novices, I brought it along. You know all the medals you got. This is it. That is it. The Blicky Stalk 10K has got fur and chrome and leopard skin attached to it. Look at that thing. That is it. It's pathetic. It is. That's what you're going to kill yourself for. You're going to kill yourself for that. And it might be a different color metal, that's all. This is a bronze. Okay. That's it. After all that effort, You could lose it in the first 10 minutes after you cross the finish line. Okay, so that is it. I don't want to get your hopes up. Okay? Right, and I said that I was going to start off by saying that it is time. And by that what I mean, it is now time to start training for comrades. Whatever happened before, in January you were injured, in February you were lazy, whatever, doesn't matter. But what does matter is if you overdid it then. Everyone killing themselves in January so they can get a great Johnson crane. Why? It's now. It is 8 to 10 weeks. All the physiologists know that. All the coaches know that. You cannot change, you cannot reinvent the wheel. That is it. 8 to 10 weeks of intense training, followed by a taper and a rest, and then you go into rest. Which doesn't mean that you shouldn't have been running in January and February. That's just, you get yourself going there. But now is the focus. And how do I know, apart from the fact that it's scientific and it's 8 to 10 weeks? How do I know? I tell you how I know, because I noticed today, the cosmos flowers are out. When the cosmos flowers are out on the side of the road, pink and white, all over the side, and in amongst them there's an odd little, really bright maroon colored one. When those flowers are out, that is time, the whole time. It's so sad if you're training for comrades down in Durban or that terrible place, Cape Town, because they don't have cosmos. They don't have jacarandas anywhere. Why would you go down there? The wind howls. You have to pay millions of rands for a broom cupboard to live in. I mean, it's just next to the sea. That's ridiculous. This is God's own country. And why is it so? Apart from the cosmos flowers, because we're at high altitude. And when you're at high altitude here, at 1,700 meters, you have a higher red blood cell count than your counterpart living down in Cape Town. You have 13% more red blood cells, which means you have more oxygen carrying capacity, which means you run the hills easier when you go down to Durban. They are doomed. Okay? No one from Durban or Cape Town will ever win the two oceans or the comrades. It is impossible, because you're giving away, unless you phone Lance Armstrong. You phone Lance Armstrong, you can see the track. So we're in a great place. The cosmos flowers are out. That is it. It is time. For those who don't know about the cosmos flowers, by the way, they are there because in the Boer War, the British needed feed for their horses. They had so many horses that they transported in to try and beat the Boers in the Boer War. And they ran out of feed, so they imported horse feed from South America. The cosmos flower is a wild South American plant growing all over the place beautifully in South Africa now, because the horse feed fell all over there. So there you are. Okay, so now it is the time, which by that I mean now you work hard. Now you work hard, consistently, every day. A swear word, you're allowed it, but a swear word right now is spelled with 4 letters. It's R-E-S-T, rest. No longer. No longer. Now, you could have back in January and February, but now you're putting your head down and you're training consistently all the time. You are allowed rest days, of course, and I'll discuss that, but it is now the consistent training all the time. And so just to give you an idea, and you don't have to panic, but if you hope to win the comrades, okay, I just sort of, and it's not in here because this is how to finish comrades. Did I mention I've written a book? Sorry, I just sort of so if you hope to win the comrades, the first thing you have to do is choose your parents carefully. It's in the genes, it's genetic. If you haven't chosen the correct parents, you are again doomed. There's nothing you can do. You can try as hard as you like, you're not going to. Basically, this is it. You know, strong legs, good heart, good lungs, no brain cells is a really stupid thing to do. Especially in my day, for no prize money. Nothing. I'm not bitter. But 875,000 rand times 9. I'm not upset, but only that. And if you break a course record, you get 500,000 rand more. Times 5. I'm not upset. I won. This is a while ago. I won the Gerald Fox Zoo Lake. You know, it's in September, the Gerald Fox Zoo Lake, it's a 21 or a 10. I won the 10K. I didn't actually break the tape. That had been done minutes before by a younger, fitter guy than me. But when I crossed the line, one of the officials came up to me and said, Fordyce, you better stay behind afterwards for the prize giving, because we think you've won the Masters, the over 50 section. 100 rand. I got 100 rand. I was blown up. I had this blue note. Look, my entry fee was 50. And on the way out, I was starving. And so I had to buy a burri roll for 25 rand. And because of Tim Noakes, I had to throw the bread away. Oh, it was so depressing. He's right, by the way. Tim Noakes is right. You need to get him as your speaker.
Yeah.
He is completely right. His book, when it comes out, is greatest honor he has ever paid me. He's asked me to write the foreword to the greatest book on sports nutrition and nutrition in general. He's rewritten, reinvented everything you've been taught about how to live healthily is wrong. You wait and you read this thing. You wait, and it's a masterpiece. I've already, anyway, that's the second thing. So, yes, so I came home that day with 25 rand, I think. And so having chosen your parents correctly, just to give you an idea, for me, I used to kick off every 1st of March. We had a fabulous race in those days called the Corky Marathon.
Yeah.
It was the Gauteng equivalent of the Two Oceans. Two Oceans is a funny, odd thing that these Bohemian hippies did down in Cape Town. No one was interested. We ran Corky. From Pretoria to Germiston. No charisma. No atmosphere. Horrible factories. Potholed roads. Oil. And then the odd Cosmos patch. You know, the whole way. But it was brilliant because it was slightly uphill all the way. It was called Slow Poison. You ran that thing at the end of 56 Ks, you landed up at Herman Immelman Stadium in Germiston, you knew you'd had a great run. And there was a formula that you could work out. You doubled your Corky time and you took something away, told you within 10 minutes what you're going to run in Comrades. So and then I would start. So here you go. This is if you want to win Comrades. You've chosen your parents correctly. Monday, 10 Ks in the morning. Oh, my training pace was between 3:45 to 4 minutes a K. If you want to win the Comrades, you have to average 3:35 a K for 90 Ks, okay, with no rest. Okay. Unlike these other pathetic sports like rugby and cricket and football. I mean, hello, in cricket they break for tea. Have you ever heard of anything more ridiculous? Can you imagine? Oh, okay, chaps, let's go have a cup of tea, cucumber sandwich, and we'll come back out again. Or rugby, they have a half time. Rugby has a half time, and even worse than that, rugby they've got a bench. When you're getting tired, you have a substitution. We can't do that. So anyway, so 10 Ks in the morning, 15 in the evening. Tuesdays, 10 Ks in the morning, evening a hill session, which was sprinting flat out up and down a steep hill. Or else, for those of you who know it, the Westcliff Stairs. Yeah. We're sprinting the Westcliff Stairs. I was the only runner on Westcliff Stairs in those days. Now it's a traffic jam. Traffic jam with people. Only runner. The first set of stairs, if you could do 6 times in 1 minute, you're going to win Comrades. Okay, that's it. 6 times in 1 minute and jog down to recover. Come and go again. You have to take them 3 at a time. By the time you get to the top, your legs have gone lame and you've got spots, but it worked. Okay, Wednesday is the easy day, just 25 to 30K run. Thursday is 10 in the morning, in the evening a track session. That means going to the track and running fast speed work. So I would do something like 5 or 6 times 1,000 meters in 3 minutes. With a 200 meter walk recovery, then you go again. 200 meter walk recovery, and you go again. Fridays, 10 in the morning, 15 in the evening. Friday evening pub. Saturday 12 Ks cross country running for my university, in an A cross country race. Sundays, we all know about it, 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 Ks long run. There you go. Every single week for the whole of March, the whole of April, and the first 2 to 3 weeks of May. And then you taper to race day. And I'm going to sound slightly pretentious now, but I'm going to say the most important month in Comrades Marathon training is April. April is the epicenter of a great Comrades. Sorry, just a frog in my throat. I wouldn't normally, but I just have to. April. Okay, now, because I'm a proud Witzy and I majored in English here, let me do something. Geoffrey Chaucer, in 1387, wrote in English, the English of his time, about April. 1 April, I'm going to do it in the Old English. 1 April with the shores Kurte, the droogte of March that pretheth to the route. Then on pilgrimage, and it's called the Canterbury Tales. It's about pilgrims who go to Canterbury, and it's about each one of them and the different characters. And what's so fantastic is that 1387, human beings are the same as they are now. There's the vain one, there's the arrogant one, there's the lovely one, all that stuff. What that translated to is, when April, with its sweet showers, the drought of March has pierced the root, then on pilgrimage. So he was talking about what a wonderful time it is because it's spring in England. Well, not April, with its shores, the drought of March has pierced to the root. But 500 years later, T.S. Eliot had a go at him, and T.S. Eliot wrote a poem called The Wastelands, which he wrote for us. And his is, April is the cruelest month, breeding dead lilacs out of the dry ground. And that's exactly what he was having a go at Chaucer. Chaucer was saying how wonderful April was. T.S. Eliot was saying how horrible it is, and it's horrible. That is the most important month. If you get injured in April, and it's a serious injury, you are in a bit of trouble. If you've been injured, it doesn't matter. If you're dealing with an injury now, it doesn't matter, but April. If you can, I knew if I could get a good solid 160 to 200 Ks a week for the 4 weeks of April, my comrades was made. There you are. Consistency. The long runs, I'm going to deal with each, and please, as I said, please do ask questions afterwards. And I mean, all that hard work, and that is it. You can't actually believe that is it. Yeah. Long runs. Everyone wants to prove that they are ready to run a great comrades when they do a long run. By that, you know what I'm talking about, a 40 or 50 or 60K run. The club, everywhere there's a club, I know Run Zone has their own 60, whatever, that's the one to go on. And they all want to win it or feel fantastic. No. You spend time on your legs. That's what the long run is about. Time in this position. Because just think about this. If you are an 11 to 12 hour comrades runner, you are going to be standing for 12 to 13 hours like this. I dare any of you to stand like this for 13 hours. But that's what you're going to do. But you're going to be asking yourself to run while you're doing it and to shuffle along. That's what you've got to do. And so that's what the long run is trying to get you used to. Being in a vertical position for a long time. That's what it's about. It's not about how fast you run it. It's not about how good you felt doing the 60K run. In fact, you want to feel dreadful. Okay, that means that's it. You don't want to feel good. You're not about racing. If you want to find out whether you're ready to run comrades, and this is the strangest thing about comrades runners, they will happily do a 30K run, but ask them to run flat out for 5Ks. That hurts. So what they do, imagine a candle flame. They're happy to put their hands around the candle flame, but they're not happy to put their hands in the flame. Do you want to find out if you're ready to run a great comrades? You put your hand in the flame. And you go to a club time trial and run your club time trial as hard as you can, a 5K as hard as you can, or maybe a 10K road race like this, the RAC 10K comes up quite close to comrades. And when you get a PB there, or you have a good time there, that tells you that you're ready to run comrades. Not the long run. Not the long run. It's how fast you run a short distance. So I always knew, and I'm going to show off here, but I always knew that I was ready to run a good comrades if 2 weeks before I could run 10Ks in 30 minutes. So if I could do 3 minutes a K for 10Ks, I knew I'm there. Doesn't mean I'm going to win, but it means I'm going to run 5.5 hours. So you're going to have to run faster than that. And generally 5.5 hours does win it. Okay, so that was my way of letting know. Races. Everyone wants to run the races, okay? So, and to get the medals. And all the medals are so much nicer than this one. All the other medals are wonderful. They gleam and they shine, and it looks like you got a silver, but actually it was just a finisher's medal. But they look great. It's just, but the problem is, comrades is a very selfish race. And if I can use the analogy of calling comrades a woman, comrades is a very jealous lady. She's jealous, possessive, and she rewards you if you give her everything. If you devote everything to comrades, you get the reward. But if you dilly-dally with a funny little, I don't know, loskop here and already done there and whatever, she's going to give you such a clap on race day. You're going to be unbelievable. You're going to get such a clap. And so what I mean by that is, of course you can go and run those races. And it's much nicer to run those races as a training run. Do you have the discipline to run them at a training run, or are you one of those people that the moment the gun goes, you're out of there, you know? So what I used to do is, I've run 32 two oceans. Only once did I race it, because it was a sufficient gap. In those days, it was on Easter, the Easter weekend. It was a sufficient gap. Easter was very early that year, and Comrades was very late. And I just got away with it. Okay, just got away. 31 times I ran 2 Oceans as a training run. Lovely, you're in Cape Town. You know, 56, you get a nice medal. Those medals are fabulous. They've got like Table Mountain on them, and all sorts of stuff, and whales, and you know, all that sort of stuff. I mean, compared to this. There are certain things that I return to occasionally when I'm talking. Did I mention I've written a book? But yeah, so if you can treat those runs, Loskop, go to Loskop, Omdidam, go to Omdidam. Don't race it. Don't race it. Yeah, but I want to improve my seeding. Okay, you've got one more chance. You can do a standard marathon like this weekend or the next. After that, it's too late. And be happy with your seeding. You know, it's 90 Ks. That thing moves out of there quite quickly, except for H batch.
Yeah.
G and H batch. Oh, I love the people in G and H batch. Theirs is the longest day. They start in the dark in Pietermaritzburg and they finish in Durban and it's dark. They've been out there the whole day. Their sunburn's got sunburn. You know, that's how long they've been out there. I love them. H batch on the down run, they can't even see the start, because it stretches so far back that it's actually slightly downhill from there's the city hall and then it drops away. So H-Batch you can't even see. Well, maybe now that it's going off in 2 groups, but you can't see the city hall. You're down there. You know the race has started because they fire a rocket and there's a big bang, but that's about all you know. And then you spend a lot of time doing this, pushing the people ahead of you, and nobody's running. I've timed H-Batch going through 12 minutes.
Yeah.
You lose about 12 minutes on the down run before you get to the start line. And remember, in Comrades, it's all going to be different though this year, but let's just assume not too different. In Comrades, when the gun goes, the clock is running, and you aren't. You aren't. I can tell you that. So that's a bit stressful, but you just relax, and you've got the whole day to catch up, okay? So, yeah, so you want to know whether you're ready to run Comrades. It's short distance stuff. I don't want to be negative, but between now and Comrades, every single one of you who is running Comrades will get an injury or get sick. You just will. It's unavoidable. In this book that I wrote, you'll read, I got sick. And I had a hamstring that worried me. That's it. It will happen. It's going to happen. So it's how you cope with it. And what you do is you act in a mature way. If it's a cold, a flu, whatever, you take a couple of days, the swear word, rest. You just have to recover. If it's an injury, you don't try and it's just a niggle, it's just a niggle. You go and get physiotherapy help fast. The physiotherapists love this time of year. They are making so much money from us because we're all idiots. And we don't go and see them until it's so bad you can't, you have to. And it's going to, every single one, it is going to happen to you. And the worst is, as it gets closer to Comrades, it's also flu season, so flu comes in. Children, you stay away from it. In fact, you shoot children because they have faces like glazed donuts with like green stuff coming out of their noses, and they always want to come and talk to you, and they're spitting on you and say, okay, no, horrendous. Okay, so you are going to get sick. You just don't want anything to go wrong in the last week. So between now and then, face up to it, you are going to get injured or sick or both. You could get both. That's the lucky double. Okay, it's just going to happen. And then it's how mature you are when it happens. Okay? And then race day, going into race day, you taper. You taper, and by that what I mean is you rest. You've done all this hard work, and you've trained like this, and then you taper. So I used to slash my training back in the last 3 weeks. I told you I did about 160, 200. 3 weeks to go, I would suddenly do 100. 2 weeks ago, I would do 80 Ks. And the last week, and I know it off by heart, so I don't have to write it down. My last week, listen to this, for the last week of training of somebody who's trying to win. Sunday, 10 Ks. Remember, it's the next Sunday. Monday, 10 Ks very slowly. Monday, 8 Ks very slowly. Tuesday, 5 Ks very slowly. Wednesday, another 5 Ks very slowly, just checking all my gear, checking that it fits, checking the final thing, the decision about the shoes. Thursday, nothing. Friday, nothing. Saturday, nothing. Sunday, 90. It hits you between the eyes, so when you say Sunday 90. That's what you've got. And I cannot believe it, because every year I stay in the Elangeni Hotel, or the Maharani, and I look out on the Durban beachfront. The day before Comrades, there are impies of runners singing, and they're all going down, and they're running up and down the day before Comrades. They're going up and down. Hey, we're running Comrades tomorrow. What are you doing? Put the sport on TV. Put your feet up on your bed in your hotel or your B&B, and Kip, you have 90 Ks of the most brutal hills you can ever imagine in your life, novices. I'm not going to try and put you off, okay? But I'm just saying, what do you do? I cannot believe how many people are running on the beachfront the day before. Why? It just makes no, you're just draining yourself, and then you got the race the next morning. And you're feeling great on the beachfront on Saturday morning. Sunday on race day, you're feeling dead. You wonder why. Don't go for a massage at the expo. They've got these beautiful people. They call you for a massage. They beckon to you. You think, oh, I'm just going to go for a massage. You've never had a massage before in your life, but you're going to do it then. And what does the massage do? It releases all the toxins into your body. So on race day, you go there feeling blech. You might as well have been bitten by a black mamba the day before, just to make sure you... I mean, it's unbelievable what people do. Okay, and so the second part of my talk, I said I was going to call it, because it's the down run, we go up. And that is true. Novices, you will do nothing for the first 55 Ks of Comrades except climb. And it's a down run. You cannot believe that it's a down run. You hear people saying, are you sure we're doing a down run? You do nothing but climb, at the risk of exaggeration. The gun goes, okay, I'll do the start. Yeah. The start, novices, okay, but forget this, Jewel, but I think they're going to sort it out. It'll be the same for both. You get out there, there's 8 billion butterflies in your stomach. You did not sleep the night before. Not at all. Not at all. And if you're close to the start, in a hotel or B&B close to the start, at 2 in the morning they start testing the sound system. Testing. And you're going to be running. Then you get, and don't try and get into another starting patch. They're going to disqualify you. Yeah. If you are H, stay in H. Don't try and schwuchel your way into E or D or something like that. It's not going to work. Okay, so then you line up in your batches, and with about 10 minutes to go, the ritual, and it is a ritual, that's why, it's a ritual, and you're standing there, and this is where we are at the beginning of March now. You're suddenly standing there and you realize, this is not the Johnson Crane. This is not Diskin. This is it. This is the culmination of the week. This is it. And that place is a seething mess, and there are lights, and so then they start the ritual. They start with the national anthem. Okay, everyone sings that, you get very emotional. Then they do Shosholoza. And at the end of Shosholoza, boom, they did ding, 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 ding. Do you remember Mr. Bean at the London Olympics? Ding, 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 ding. He only had that one note to play, because that note stays. And they played Chariots of Fire. And actually, as an aside, Chariots of Fire, the movie, won the Oscar in 1981. And for the best movie, the guy who made the movie, David Putnam, they had everything except music. And his great friends told him, he said, we need music for this movie, we know it's great. His friends told him, you've got to go to the nightclubs in London and listen to this mad Greek guy called Vangelis. He plays like 8 keyboards at the same time, and he's incredible. So they went to listen to him and they said, could you write something? He said, show me your movie. They said, okay, give me 2 weeks and come back. And they came back and they thought, oh, what have we done? This mad drug addict, he's drug addict, mad hippie guy's going to write. And David Putnam went with his wife, and they said when it started, ding, 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 and the first note started, boom, they said they were covered in goosebumps. And they realized that actually the music was even greater than their movie. So that's what you're going to listen to, okay? And then at the end of that, there's like this silence as the last bars of Chariots of Fire disappear. And you will hear a cockerel crow twice. Not 3 times, because I think 3 times is the biblical portrayal, so it's twice. Twice you will hear the cockerel crow. HVAC you might not. No, they've got got speakers, they got speakers. And the cockerel crow is done by a comrades runner called Max Trimborn, who ran 13 times, but he used to start the race in the 1930s, 1940s with a cockerel crow to almost just to tell the people, come on guys, we're about to start. Remember back in those days, it was a white male only race. Okay, so he's saying, come on guys, we're ready to go. And he died in 1985, but luckily they recorded him. And I have this kind of vision of Max Trimborn on his deathbed in a Pietermaritzburg hospital. And Max is there, and the sound crew run in. Max, if you can just do the cockerel crow for us. And he's lying there, he goes, oh, and they say, brilliant, Max, brilliant. Max? He's gone. Okay, so that's it, you can hear Max. And then after that, bang. And that is it, and the gun goes. And if you're in A or B batch, it's fantastic. G and H, nothing very much happens for a while. You can have another cup of coffee, you can relax. And it's going to be a while till you get going. And then it gets going, okay? And you are slightly downhill, and the down run, by the way, is freezing. It can be freezing cold. It is, I've run a down run -1. So you take a top, something that you're going to discard, something of very little value, like a Liverpool football supporter's top. You know, you take it, you just toss that away immediately. You know, or an Arsenal top, you just toss that away. And you know, you're going to wear that for a while. So it's a top that it is cold, and it's dark, and there are middle mannequins, and there are all sorts of traffic cones and stuff like that. You can fall, and you have to look in the dark. It's dark and the streets are narrow, which is probably why they're doing the two batches now. Yeah. It's just got too hectic.
And widening up Polly Short.
Yeah, and then you run through Pietermaritzburg, and then you go up. You go slightly up, and they're bright lights, because it's still pitch black, but they're bright lights. That's for the TV cameras at the top of Polly Shorts. And that is one of the very few occasions that you're going to run down. You're going to run down Polly Shorts. And novices have a good look at it, because you're going to be coming up it in 2026, so have a good look. And I promise you, you let gravity tow you. You pretend you're a river, and you flow down the downhills. If you attack the downhills, everybody goes berserk going down Polly's. Bang, 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 you see them running. You are smashing your quadriceps to pieces, these muscles here, and you need them badly many hours later, but you're now punishing them. You just let yourself glide down Polly Shorts. Down Polly Shorts, freezing cold down at the bottom, there's usually thick frost, and then you make your way, and because it's the down run, as soon as you get to the bottom of Polly Shorts, you go up. You go up, into Ashburton Village. And then down the other side a bit, and because it's the down run, you go up for 4 Ks, up, climbing. And the sun starts rising, straight out, and it goes straight into your eyes. This is a down run, and you're going up. Then it's kind of flattish. I'm going to go through the course very quickly, but it's flattish. And then the other thing, by the way, is that it's impossible to stick to a time schedule, because in every race in the world, they give you little motivational, little ticks. You run whatever it might be, London Marathon, you run and you go past a board that says 1, which means you've done 1 English mile. And a bit later on, it's 2. You know, or if you did the Johnson Crane or whatever, 1, 2. But in Comrades, no. 87 to go. What does that mean? Just means it's flippin' far. Okay? So you ignore the distance far, because you're going to run for hours and hours and hours and hours, and then you'll see 63 to go. You can't calculate what you do, because it was like this year's race is 88.3. How can you calculate? You can't. So you got to run that thing on landmarks, okay? And then eventually you'll get to a landmark, to a distance marker that means something. There's always some idiot. You're going to go past 56 to go, and some idiot says we're on the start line of 2 Oceans. And you think, if I felt like this on the start line of 2 Oceans, I wouldn't have run. But you're about to run 2 Oceans, worse, with bigger hills. Okay, so then you make your way. I'm going as quickly as I can towards Camperdown Village. Camperdown Village is a great place to see your loved ones. They can see you in Camperdown. There's lots of parking, but it is tricky because it's cold. They're all huddled over cups of coffee, and you don't look like you because you've got your club colours on and you've got a peak on and you're all huddled up and you go anywhere, but you can see them there. And then from Camperdown, you do rolling stuff through the sugarcane. But most of the rolling stuff is, because down run is up. And you go through Cato Ridge, everybody's millions of scottles. Everyone's making bacon and eggs. And the smell of badly scorched boerewors is your first wave of nausea. And you see how I motivate people. And then you go through Cato Ridge, and then kind of wine, and then you get to the infamous Harrison Flats. Harrison Flats. Because it's the down run, Harrison Flats is slightly up all the way. It is slightly up all the way. You climb quite a lot in the beginning, and then it just is a steady, slow climb, and it's a bleak and horrible place. And this is my only political thing I'm going to say the whole speech. What is wrong with South Africans? That as soon as we finished the Kentucky Fried Chicken box and the Coke can, we drop it. We just drop it. We are a disgusting race. The sides of our roads are an embarrassment. And the whole of Harrison Flats has all the litter of KZN. They try and pick it up before because they know it's going to be on television. But they don't know that several trucks are going to come over. The guys just chuck, what do we do? You know, it's like, just put it in the bloody bin. But no, just keep it in your car till you get to a place where there's a bin and put it in the bin. No, out the window. Anyway, sorry, I can go berserk. It's a South African thing. It's not an African thing. I've been to Rwanda. Beautiful place to see the gorillas. Not one piece of litter anywhere in that entire country. Once a month, the president of Rwanda walks around the streets of Kigali and picks up litter for an hour, but there's none to pick up because they've all put it in the right place in the bloody bin. I don't know what is wrong with people. And you keep it in your car until you get to a bin. No, out. Anyway, sorry. Okay, so that's Harrison Flat, and it's because it's down and it's up. And then you go down a little bit and you make your way past the Ntembeni School for Disabled Children, which is so moving you're going to cry. Those children are in wheelchairs, they've got calipers on. People donate to them, you know, in the days before. Comrades is a guy there, Brahm Mouton, who should be beatified by the Pope. You should be Saint Brahm of Ntembeni. But anyway, you're going to go past that, very emotional. And then you get to, on a down run, the first of the registered hills. They tell you there's 5 registered hills. They're not on the down run, it's 4. Okay, but you get to the first of the registered hills called Inchanga. And because it's a down run, you go up like this. And it doesn't stop. And it just climbs for 4 Ks to the top of Inchanga. And if you want to see an amazing sight, you know, if you near some of them, you can actually turn around and have a look over your shoulder this way, and behind you can just see this whole snake of running vests and running tops coming, the thousands of runners making their way up in Changa. HVAC, don't turn around and have a look. There's just some people sweeping. They're just sweeping the road. HVAC, I love HVAC, but don't turn around because there's nothing to see. They're opening the roads behind you. Okay, then you get to the top of Inchanga, and then you do drop down. You drop down all the way to the other side of Inchanga, all the way down to Drummond at halfway. And you can hear the music from down there. You can hear the announcer talking, and you're going to go through halfway. And fantastic, you've gone through halfway, through Drummond Village. It's another good place to see your loved ones, but for them to see you, they can do it, but for them to get out of Drummond is almost mission impossible. They need to drive up the road to Assegai, just a little bit, turn their car around so it's facing the correct way, park, and then they've got a jog run for about 3 Ks up to Drummond to see you. Then they jog run back down again. Then they can do it. But if they try and get close to Drummond, they don't get out of there for hours. And the whole road, it's a tiny road, it's jammed. Okay, so you go through Drummond, and because it's the down run, as soon as you go through Drummond, you go up Inchanga too. You do Inchanga again. Because Inchanga is like a cereal bowl. You drop down into it, you go through Drummond, and then you climb out of it. And that, the second part of Inchanga is 10 Ks. Of lots of breaks. There are breaks where you go down, but overall for 10 Ks, because it's a down run, you go up. You climb up past the Rob Roy. You have a beautiful view of the Valley of 1,000 Hills, most of which you're going to still run. You can see down there Alan Paton's book, Cry the Beloved Country. You're going to go through that too. And on the way, I've got to get this right. Yeah, so you've gone through halfway. You're going to pass a funny place. It's called Arthur's Seat. It's a hollowed out little hollow in a rock face, very nondescript, but it's got a plaque next to it, and it says Arthur's Seat. And that is where the first multiple winner of Comrades, Arthur Newton, he won 1921 till 1925. He's supposed to have sat there and smoked his pipe and looked at the view of the Valley of 1,000 Hills on his training runs, which you actually can't see the 1,000 Hills because there's a like rock in the way. But anyway, that's what he's supposed to say. You have to, as you go past, you have to take a flower and throw it at Arthur's Seat. But don't worry, there are people there who hand flowers out. And you have to say, "Good morning, Arthur," and doff your cap if you've got a cap. If you don't, Arthur's ghost will haunt you for the whole of the second half. You will have the worst run of your life. You have to doff your cap, put a flower, and say, "Good morning, Arthur." H-Patch, when you get there, the flower's like a compost heap. It's starting to it's steaming. Okay. But there's a big pile of flowers when you get there. Okay, and then immediately afterwards, 300 meters later on the left, is one of the most moving monuments I've ever seen, and that is the Wall of Honor. It is these little shields that stretch now for about 500 meters, hundreds of them. And on those shields are the names of people who have run Comrades. And if they're all in yellow gold, but if you've run 10 or more Comrades, they take it down and put a green one in. Okay, and those stretch now for a long way. And it is one of the most wonderful, wonderful monuments. Novices, you can't put your name there. You can't. But as you run past, you say, "I'm ordering mine on June the 9th. And they take them in batches. So they'll tell you, like 2 months later, yours is up, and they tell you where to look for it, because it's like you'll look in M5 second row, whatever. And it is a wonderful, one day will stretch for kilometers. That will be incredible. I've been to some of the other monuments. I went in Washington, I went to the Vietnam War Memorial. That is 67,000 Americans who died in a war that they lost in the end anyway. You know, it reminds you of Ukraine and Russia, doesn't it? So it's like no one's going to win that. So they're all these names, and you can look them up. But that's a tragic, because the names are just jumbled. So you can look them up, and you see all these little notes and stars and stripes and whatever. And the one that got me was, "Dear Grandpa, I wanted to tell you how much I loved you, and I said to myself I will when you return from Vietnam, but you didn't." You know, those. But the Comrades one is, you know, and the names are so funny because you can put your nickname up there and whatever. There's the odd Comrades one that's got human ash on it. You know, where somebody, but whatever. Anyway, so novices, if you go past, you can have a look and say, "Oh, tomorrow I'm ordering mine," because that'll also be a sense of inspiration for you. And you don't have to panic. I'm getting, as you can tell, I'm getting to the end of the race, and then I'm getting to the end of taking too much time. But immediately after the Wall of Honor, because it's a down run, you go up. You just carry on going up. And then after 55 to 60 Ks, I'm never quite sure, you get to Botha's Hill Village.
Well done.
Okay, now I'm going to take issue with Graham. This is KZN. They have never heard of Botha's Hill. This is the last outpost. The English there is very strange, okay? So it is Botha's Hill. I know in the rest of the world it's Botha's, okay? And it is Kloof, not Kloof. I'm going to run through Kloof. And the people in KZN don't have the letter I in their alphabet. They've replaced it with a U. So they say fish, not fish. And the stuff inside a pen is unk. That's how they pronounce it. You can tell somebody from Natal straight away, the way they speak English. Hillcrest. I've got to go now because I've got to go and pick up the kids. The accent is such a giveaway. Anyway, so just so you know, it's Hillcrest, it's Hilton, it's Cowie's Hall. Okay, just get the accent right. It's their race. So they set the rules about how you pronounce the things. Okay, and then you go through Botha's Hill. Okay, and then the down run starts. So your legs that are nicely tenderized steak for 55, 60 Ks, you plummet down Botha's. You plummet down for 3 Ks. Bang, bang, bang. There's a geological fault. Something 300 million years ago slipped. And the whole of that thing crashed down. And that's what you run down. And you run down, down, down. Okay, you go down Botha's, actually, funny enough, into Hillcrest. You go straight up again. But after that, it's winding through Hillcrest and down, down, mainly slightly down all the time, then through a dreadful, double. I just need one more glass of the the doctor said because of medicinal. Yeah. Otherwise, he said I might die of COVID or something. And you run through, on the double highway, there's quite a lot in the second half of running on the N3 or on the motorway, and it's boring, and it's open, and it's hot. It starts to get hot. And you run through Hillcrest, and then you get to the top of Fields Hill. On the uprun, Fields Hill is a serious, serious climb. But for you, it's a downhill, but it hurts like hell. And remember in the beginning, I said, if you hammer the hell out of Polly Shorts, gonna catch you on Fields Hill. Sorry, Fields Hall. And you go down Fields, it is 4 Ks downhill steep, and everything hurts. And if you're very lucky, you're only losing 1 toenail. But if you're unlucky, you're losing more. Unless you do what I do. And that is, you say, to hell with the cosmetics of my shoe. I'm going to cut the toe box. I cut the toe box of my shoe off. Toe sticking out. Never. First Comrades, this one, did I mention I've written a book? This one, First Comrades, I lost 8 of my toenails. Because, and when they grow back in November, December after the race. And you have to put little bits of cardboard in to make them grow out straight and tape them in place. It is a pain in the neck because you want to go clubbing and barring. When you're my age back then, I want to go clubbing and barring and dancing. Instead, I've got to put tape to grow my toenails out. So you cut your toe box. Comrades is not about looking good. This is not a fashion. Nowadays the fashion. Comrades is about comfort. Do you want the medal? Do you want the medal, or do you want to look good? Yeah, you cut the toe. I used to slash the bottom of my shoes so they were more flexible. I would cut bits off. I'd go and then hack them to pieces, to make it suit me for what I needed in the race. Bottom of Fields Hill, you're into Pinetown. Now, for the first time, you are in subtropical KZN. It was freezing when you discarded that useless Liverpool top back in Pietermaritzburg. It's now subtropical, hot, sticky, warm, and they call it the Pinetown Flats. Rubbish rolls like this. And you go under an underpass and you climb out the other side. Remember, this down run, so you're still going up a bit. Okay? And I don't know what it is about Pinetown. The crowd is very enthusiastic, but Pinetown's not pretty. It's just not pretty. And the last 3 remaining vuvuzelas are in Pinetown. And they go off in your ear. As you go past. You want to take that vuvuzela and wrap it around that guy's head and throttle him. Okay. I don't know why they're you can find them. They're in Pinetown. You're going to find them. And in Pinetown, okay, novices, it's about 18, 17, 16 to go. And there, you're going to, and there could be young people here and sensitive religious people, so I'm not going to swear, but you will say to yourself, I will never, ever, ever do this beep, stupid beep race ever again. I will never do this to myself again. Never. Okay? But in Pinetown, you're going to meet a stranger, somebody you deeply admire and greatly respect, who's going to help you get through. And that person is yourself. You have to do it. You have to do it from Pinetown. It's not fun. The toenails coming off. You can't. And you're chafing in places that you didn't know you had places. It's just like you can't believe Vaseline everywhere. And now you're in Pinetown, and at the end of Pinetown there's another of the registered hills. Remember, we've done 2 Inchangas, and now we've got the 3rd registered hill on the down run, Cowie's Hill. It's horrible. You go up, sorry, I know I'm motivating you. You can withdraw at this stage. You don't have to enter. Can I have one last of the
Yeah.
Okay, so, no, because the speaker's going on too long. I'm nearly finished, don't worry, because we're getting here. There's 16 to go. And you go into Cowie's Hill, you climb up. Then it actually flattens slightly, goes slightly down, and then it climbs for 2Ks up with a bend in it. Just, it's unbelievable. And the problem with Cowie's Hill is that at the top, pointing down the hill, they have a television camera. Okay? And you have told all your loved ones, your work colleagues, your club mates, and most particularly the one your ex, who you hate, knows that you are running Comrades, okay? Knows that you're running Comrades, and you've told them all that you're running Comrades. But they can quite clearly see you on television walking Comrades. And you're not walking it well. You're not walking it well, I can promise you. Okay. And so I'm going to give you a clue because I commentate on the race now, and I'm looking for faces here. Oh, she said she was going to run Comrades. Look at her, South Africa. She's walking Comrades badly. Okay. So I'm going to give you a clue. There's a red light in front of the lens. TV cameras being mounted on a gantry. There's a guy there and he's pointing it. We're talking about you in the commentary studio. Okay? And you know you're live in front of the whole nation because there's a red light. There's one right there looking at me now. It glows ruby red. You are live, not in front of the nation, in front of the world. Okay, some of your friends who've immigrated to Australia are watching. Okay, so you watch. So no matter what you do, you run. And if you want to look heroic, everyone around you is going to be walking. You say, "Come on!" We can do this. And the moment the red light goes off, they've gone to an ad break, or they're interviewing Gede at the finish. No, they're not. Gede's already on the plane flying home. But then you can go back to walking again because you're no longer live. Top of Cowie's Hill, you run down for a long time. Then it's down, down, down. Then it's truly the down run, and everything hurts because you ran Potty Shorts too hard. And you ran down Fields Hill too hard, and you ran down Botha's Hill too hard. So everything hurts, and boom, 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 you go down, and then you're back on the motorway again, and it's like stuff like this. And it just goes on forever. And the last Comrades that I ran, I had the honor of running with Zola Bud, and she was doing her first, and I was doing my 30th. And she's a lady of very few words, but every now and again she said, "Yes, he just fair." She's now, by the way, she came 7th. 2 years later without me, she came 7th at the age of 48. And she's running, not this year, she's running next year, because she's never done enough. And at one stage she said to me, "Where's the 10K board? Where's the," because they remember the goes down. She, "Where's the 10K board?" She was obviously hanging in. I said, "Zola, it's been stolen, it's fallen over, the wind blew it over or something. We're going to go around the corner, we're going to see 9 to go, relax." She said, "How do you know?" And then she looked at me and said, "Oh yeah, you know." So then you can start looking at the distance markers. 10, 9, 8, or around 9, 8, the 4th of the registered down on hills, 45th cutting. The whole of Durban's Indian community is there. It's too wonderful. You can do it and all. They run with you. They run, "Oh, Mummy, I'm on TV. Mummy, I'm on TV." They run with you. It's fantastic. 45th cutting, there's a garage, Caltex garage. You're going to go up that. It's steep. It's a walk.
Yeah.
It's a walk. But if you're interested in the outcome of the men's race, every year, the runner who goes in front at 45th cutting wins. And I got huge points from my fellow commentators when Tete Tijani won his first down run. I said to everyone, they said, "You see the crash barrier?" Because that's why they need me. I said, "You see the crash barrier? That's the start of 45th cutting. Tete's going to go now. If he doesn't go now, he's going to have to leave it to the end, and then it gets cut. He's going to go now." Bang, he went, and that was the race. And he just kicked hard. I mean, it's hard to do that after you've done 80 Ks, but he did it. And that was the race. And the same thing will happen in the men's race. Pete Wiemse, they're not going to touch him. They won't touch him. He's going to win his second one. He'll go on 45th cutting. Cheers, guys, I'm out of here. And then you go over the top of 45th cutting and you drop down. and you drop down, 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 down into Mabel, down, down, down. Everything's hurting. You are sick and tired of down. It hurts so much. You're going down, 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 down into the valley of the shadow of death. Psalm 23. And unlike the Psalm, the Lord is not with you. You are alone. You are alone. His sword is not with you. His shield and his head. Now you're on your own. Because immediately you get down to the deepest part where all the world's mosquitoes and numbers are bred down there. They breed them down there. You have to go up a 300-meter hill. It's not registered as a hill because it's not long enough. Has no name, but it's actually the off-ramp for the N3 going up to Joburg. You would go down if you went into Mabel. And you've got to go up that. It's like that. There, you're going to walk. It's not even... the great thing is there's no TV camera there. You just are going to walk. That's it. You just look at it, and you say, no. But when you get to the top, then you run down on the motorway. Now you're on the motorway towards Tollgate, that half-moon bridge. We've all driven under it. Over it, and under it, you're going to go under that, and then down, 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 all the way down the Berea. Bang, 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 everything's hurting, but it starts to get real. It's 5, it's 4, it's 3, that starts to get real. And at 3 novices, you're allowed to start crying, because you're going to be a Comrades Marathon finisher. You're allowed to start, and I'm almost finished. I'm going to say one thing. Novices, I envy you so much. If I have one regret from my first Comrades, it's that I raced all the way to the finish. I don't remember much of it. I just remember swearing never ever again. And that's it. I collapsed into my dad's arms. My dad was an army officer. He didn't hug. Army officers don't hug their sons. But it was the first time we'd ever hugged, because I just fell into his arms and he's kind of holding me like, well done, son. But if you can, just try and freeze the moment and remember it. Try and keep it forever. Because it's so special. With about 3 to go, you are going to make it. Okay, so 3 to go, remember it. And I'll tell you why. If ever, which happens to all of us, you feel lonely, you feel depressed, you feel upset with yourself, disappointed with yourself, you've had a bad day, something, you just haven't, it's been bad. If you freeze the moment and remember it, whenever you need to, just to make yourself think, I'm actually better than this. I've run Comrades. So I did it, luckily did it in 88, uprun. I love the uprun, by the way. Uprun, 88, I had a big lead, I had a 12-minute lead, which is a big lead, 3Ks to go. You're going to win. But you never actually go, it's Comrades, all sorts of stuff can happen, but sort of are going to win. So my seconds came out to me, they said, enjoy it, China, you're going to win, go for it, and I'm luckily froze the moment. So I'll explain what I mean. So I can do it right now. And whenever I'm always disappointed with myself, I do stuff, like I drink too much or whatever, go on too long at the talk. I'm nearly finished, don't panic. I can just go to that 88. I had 3Ks to go. My quads were so sore. I had lost a toenail. There was some sweat had dripped down my forehead and gone into my eye, and my eye was stinging. But you see, I'm recreating it. It's real. But there was the noise. The crowd was screaming. The lead vehicle, all that, was all around me. And I'm going to win Comrades. I'm going to win Comrades. And it just was. Whenever I need, I'd taken one of those gels. Gel, I hadn't had enough water. I had like a coffee mocha chocolate gel, but I hadn't had enough water with it at the last table. And I feel like I finally bithered it out. And so instead I just had like a sludge of brown. It's not a great photo, winner's photo, but I was going to win Comrades. And so whenever I feel bad, I can go and recreate that moment. And so just do when you've got 3Ks to go. And I have to end at this stage, I'll tell you why. Because we don't know where the finish is. We don't know where the down run is going to finish yet. I don't think so.
We do, yeah.
We do, where? People's Park.
People's Park, yeah.
In the road. They finish in the road, but I'm not sure.
It's on the road. People's Park.
That's going to be different. No more crawling there. Not with a tar road. Wow. Okay, so People's Park. That's like halfway between Kingsmead and Moses Mavida. Wow. I love Kingsmead. You've got to do that last lap at the cricket stadium, but anyway, okay, so that's the finish. So there it is, guys. Did I mention I've written a book? And yeah, if anyone's got any questions or anything you'd like, sorry it petered out like at that moment because I didn't know that the start was decided on, but that's it, yeah. Questions, comments?
Everybody's waiting for your little medal.
Oh yes, sorry. The doctor's medicine got to me. Yeah, so if you win, there's no prize money, okay? But if you win, you get this. And that is the thing of beauty. And you know what happens with the prize money? I can guarantee you, Teddy DeJohn suddenly had 500 relatives, and an aunt who needed a loan, and you know what I mean? He bought a car, and then before he could blink, it was gone. But they can never take this from you. That's a lovely thing, huh? And if you come second, it's a big silver, and if you come third, it's a big bronze. Like that. So that, and it's got Hermes on it. It's got Hermes, the winged messenger of the gods. So there you are. So yeah, if anyone wants a photo with the winner's medal, you can have it. You can't keep the medal.